Zach Vascomi, and today I have a very special guest joining me, Lisa Sini. Now, Lisa is a 7-time best-selling author. She's an award-winning and internationally recognized designer, and she has some amazing things going on. I'm excited to be talking with her today. Lisa, thank you for coming on to the show.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Well, so again, you have so many exciting things happening within the design space. Can you tell me a little bit about what types of projects you have going on right now?
Well, we focus mainly on aging in place in seniors. So I think it's this really wonderful time and place that we can be in where we're merging technology in with our environments. So how do we do that? By, making our houses and our furniture and everything adjust to us so that it can help us to age in place as long as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw some of that stuff. You had a docu-series done
Yes.
Around a certain place.
Yep.
And I got to watch a lot of that, and it was very insightful, not only in what you were able to do for people who would be living in a space like that with the technology, but also how you collaborated with so many different people. Do you mind telling me a little bit more about that process?
Sure. So I bought this house that is a historic mansion, not National Historic Register, but historic mansion. And it had good bones, but it had really not been taken care of for a long time. Kind of like, us as we age. Quite often, we don't take care of things till they fall apart. So, and that might be our eyes or our knees or our feet or our teeth or our hearing, whatever it might be. But we happen to do in America a crisis kind of planning versus preemptive. And this house had went through the same thing. It really had kind of fallen apart, and I looked at it and I thought, this would be a beautiful thing to bring back to life and to help people know that they could be brought back to life. And the best way to do that was to bring a bunch of other people together to help me, some of the best companies out there in technology, in furniture, in finishes, and then my competition.
Which is amazing, right? Like, who would have thought that working with your competition would actually produce so many more exponential results?
It does. I mean, when you just come down to it, we are better together than we are alone.
It's so true. And so, you've been in the design space for over 30 years now. It's obviously something you're really passionate about. What got you started in this in the first place?
I'm an artist by just nature, but I'm also a very logical thinker. And I took one of those tests in high school that said, okay, you can be a lawyer, you can be, a researcher, or you could be an interior designer. And I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. I could do a lot of research, but I can also apply my artistic talents and change people's lives for the better. So that's how I originally got into it.
That's wonderful. And my grandparents are a lot older now. I mean, they're well into their 80s. And the same thing, we're going through as a family the same sort of questions. They're not really able to stay in their own home right now. They've already moved out of their original home that they were in for almost 40 years. And so as you see this, like you said, it's like a lot of people don't even understand the types of resources and things that are available to them. So who are the types of people that you would be working with a lot of times, and where would I find your work? Is it kind of across the country, or?
Across the country, across the world. But we work with a lot of private pay senior livings. But we decided to do the house project because senior living is not what everybody wants to be in. It's wonderful for people that want to be there. And I say it's a lot like sushi. So, if you love sushi, it's awesome, but it's also expensive. And that's senior living. If you love senior living, it's awesome for you, but it's expensive. But senior living is not everybody's cup of tea. Matter of fact, 90% of the folks don't want to be in senior living. And of those 10%, probably only 1% can afford the kind of places that I do, which is resort style. So where does that leave the 99? So that's part of the reason why we did this project, was to take care of the 99. And even those people that might want to go into senior living later, they're going to be better educated about how to make the right decisions and look for what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you've been doing all of this through your company, which is Mosaic Design.
Yes.
And now you have something coming up in the future that you're going to be working on. So tell me a little bit about what you got planned coming up next.
So Infinite Living is this house that now is the first ever Airbnb aging in place tech showcase, that you can come and try out all of this technology in the most wonderful, incredible environment. You can play bocce outside. You can go to the spa. We have a hot, cold walking path that you can go into the water, technology for fitness, sauna, a speakeasy, a ballroom, and then 9 en-suites. So you can really try out all the technology from bathrooms to kitchens, but really everywhere in the house.
And like you said, I mean, this is one of a kind. I've never even heard of something like that before. And so you are at the forefront of really, blazing the trail for our seniors who a lot of times are forgotten.
They are. And I think, one of the great things about it is the house is multi-generational. So you can come for a wedding reception or just a family kind of reunion and passively educate everyone and try all the different tech out without kind of feeling like you're taking grandma and grandpa in or mom and dad showing them something or forcing them into a situation that they might not be comfortable in.
That's so cool. Yeah, and I remember seeing something like, of all the technologies that you have too, the one that sticks out in my mind the most, and this might be completely ridiculous, but I spent a lot of time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was a cutting table that would move up to kind of meet you, or down if you're in a wheelchair or something like that, or if you just want to sit because you're lazy, right? But then the cabinets, the upper cabinets came down. And I'm an Italian guy, so I'm pretty short, and reaching the top cabinet is still difficult for me. So that was such a cool thing that I thought, even for my grandparents, what a little thing that has such a great impact.
It does. I think when we often forget that our cars adjust to us in every way. So the passenger side versus the driver's side, you can adjust the seat any way you want. You can have cold air flowing through your back, or you can have a heated seat. You can adjust it up and down in the amount of lumbar pressure. It adjusts to you to make you be able to drive better. But our houses don't. And we spend so much more time in our houses. So from a toilet that goes up and down to a sink that goes up and down to cutting tables or cabinets, that's great for a kid. It's great for somebody that's differently abled. And it's great for a senior, or like us, somebody that's short. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, you're talking about this magnificent house where people can come and really experience this as an Airbnb.
Yes.
So I got to ask, where is this? How do I do it?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so please tell me a little bit more.
So we have this website called infinite-living.org. You can go to the site, you can see the before pictures, and actually there's video you can drive through and see how it was all kind of fallen apart. And then we have it all same video that you can go through all the areas and see how it's been transformed. And little tags that'll tell you like, hey, this does that. Photographs, and then it even has a booking portion. So you can go and figure out what time you want to come, but we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing for, my grandparents and grandparents around the world. And really just making a difference in such subtle ways, but such impactful ways. So, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you joining me on the show today. It was great having you, and I hope that you find more and more success in this with the new endeavors around this house, and many more to come, I'm sure.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us on Times Square today.